You're listening to Midlife Side Quest, the Over the Hill Gaming Podcast. Here's your host, John Wall.
Welcome to Midlife Side Quest, episode 21, and thank you so much for tuning in. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Hi-Fi Rush. If you haven't yet subscribed to the show, please take a moment to do so. And I would also love to hear your feedback, which you can do by leaving a review wherever you're listening to today's episode. You can also find me on Twitter or Hive at MidlifeSQ. So I've spoken on the show before about how much I love food. I am passionate about great food. Some people will spend hundreds of dollars on concert tickets to go see Taylor Swift or Beyonce or whoever. I will spend that much on an incredible dinner. That is what excites me. And this week, I was lucky enough to have a dinner that I won't forget for a long, long time. Owamni opened in 2021 here in Minneapolis and has been an incredible success story. It features only indigenous ingredients, meaning if it was brought by colonizers, you won't find it on the menu. So no wheat, dairy, beef, chicken, pork, whatever the native population had to work with, those are the ingredients that they use. And it results in some inspired and really tasty dishes. We had bison stew, which was amazing, as well as bison tartare, roasted sweet potatoes cooked in chili oil, and elk spare ribs in ancho sauce. The food was amazing. The staff was really friendly. They explained everything really well to us about their menu and about their philosophy, and I really couldn't help but be moved by the experience and what their mission was and their message. Last year, it won the James Beard Award for the best new restaurant in the country. So it really was an honor to get to eat there. And if you ever find yourself in the Twin Cities, you owe it to yourself to check it out. So at the recent Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct, Microsoft surprise announced and launched the new game from Tango Gameworks, Hi-Fi Rush. While there were some leaks, I think, that morning about the game, for most people it came as a complete surprise. And launching on Game Pass meant that everyone could jump right into the game that afternoon after the showcase. The game has been quite a big critical and commercial success for them. And the other day I wrapped up my playthrough of the game, and I can add my voice to the chorus of admirers because Hi-Fi Rush has been one of the most exciting and refreshing game releases I've played in a while. You play as Chai, a lovable dork and wannabe rock star who volunteers for a program that gives people cybernetic implants. Due to a mishap during that process, though, he not only gets the mechanical arm that he was expecting, but his iPod Shuffle gets implanted into his chest, allowing him to feel the rhythm and beat of the songs that play. He soon discovers that the corporation behind this program, of course, has an evil master plan, and he gets swept up with a group of very fun supporting characters who are fighting back to stop the plan and take down the Corpo thugs. It may sound hyperbolic, but it's true to say that few games that I've maybe ever played have merged all of their different elements so cohesively together to create an orchestra of awesomeness. The art style, the music, writing, and gameplay all flow so well together that it creates a game that is just pure, unfiltered joy. As you fight your way through waves of robot enemies, you'll time your attacks with the beat, pressing X for a light attack and Y for a heavy attack, which hits on every other beat. One of the many brilliant things about this game is that it's very forgiving. So if you don't nail that beat with your button presses, your hits are still going to land. But if you nail it just right, you will do extra damage. It's so great because it makes the game appealing to everybody, even if you don't have great rhythm like some people. Over the course of the 10 stages and roughly about a dozen hours of gameplay, they also constantly introduce new mechanics to keep that combat feeling fresh and interesting. From dodges and parries to companions who can jump into the stage for a few seconds to unleash special attacks or take down an enemy's shields. It is fun, responsive, and feels really good when you can find that rhythm and just jam along to the songs which are pretty dang good, I gotta say, with tunes from Nine Inch Nails, The Black Keys, Prodigy, and more. That soundtrack has been on my Spotify playlist since the game came out. And like I said, everything gels together so good. So while you're smashing enemies to the beat of the music, everything in the world is moving to the beat as well. Walls will bounce and pulse, and manhole covers will jump, and just the entire world is in tune to the music and moves, and it's just so awesome to watch. The visual style in particular, the animation is really good. Think of something like Jet Grind Radio or Sunset Overdrive, games that just, they had so much style and pop to them. That's how Hi-Fi Rush makes me feel. It's kind of like a Dreamcast game that time forgot. Shadow dropping the game has also meant that we didn't have to suffer through months of the gaming community nitpicking about what they saw in the trailer, or debating the art style or the price or whatever. I love this community, but good Lord, the constant discourse can be exhausting sometimes. This game just brought back this sense of joy and fun that so many games seem to be missing these days. Granted, I love a good moody game, that's going to make me sad and ask me to ponder life's deeper meaning. But sometimes you just want to sit back and have a super fun time with a big stupid grin on your face. Finally, this week, I want to talk for a little bit about the release of Hogwarts Legacy and more specifically, my plans for talking about the game on the show. I know what you're thinking. You are so sick of hearing about Hogwarts Legacy. I am sick of hearing about Hogwarts Legacy. This has been a topic of a lot of discussion recently due to the horrible and transphobic comments by Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling over the years, and the debate over support of anything related to her or that property. There are very strong opinions on both sides of this conversation. But for me, there is really only one valid stance. And that is to say, I'm going to do this, and you can do whatever you want. I've seen people say both that they are going to buy this game to own the libs or to make some kind of stand against so-called woke culture. And I've also seen people say that they are going to end friendships over people deciding to play this game. Both of these are completely idiotic opinions, and nobody has the right to guilt you or try to tell you what you should or shouldn't buy or play. And to be honest, the amount of people trying to take some supposed moral high ground, looking down on everybody else, is kind of embarrassing and feels a little bit performative. I'm planning on playing the game and talking about it on an upcoming episode. Probably next week if I get enough time with it. Now, I admit I was a little bit conflicted about it, but I've had a few conversations about it with my son, and his take on it made me feel a little bit better about it and made me realize that I shouldn't feel bad about wanting to play the game. He has always loved Harry Potter. Those were the first books that he ever read as a kid. He had a Harry Potter bedroom. We went to Hogwarts at Universal Studios last year, and we've watched the movies countless times. So I asked him how he felt as someone who is transgender about still enjoying Harry Potter and whether or not he was going to play the game. And this is what he said. He said, she may have created those characters, but it's grown so much bigger than her, and so many of the people involved with that world and the things that have come out since have spoken out against her and her bigotry and tried to make the community more inclusive. He also said, why should he give her that kind of power over him to destroy something that has meant so much to him his whole life? And he's right. Giving in to that and letting her hold that kind of power is far more detrimental than putting a few more pennies into a billionaire's pocket. If that's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Keep fighting for trans rights. Keep fighting against hate and bigotry, but also it's entirely possible to speak out against those things and the hate that she's trying to spread while also enjoying the things that you love without feeling bad about it. Now, you can obviously make your own decisions. You're an adult. Play it. Don't play it. Skip that episode of SideQuest if you like. It's your life, and only you can decide what you want to do. And I am not going to judge you either way. Thank you so much for listening to Midlife SideQuest. You can catch new episodes every Thursday morning wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave a review. And you can follow the show on Twitter or Hive, where we go by Midlife SQ. Until next time, be well and keep playing.